and this is As the Road Returns. This is going to be a quick disclaimer. This is going to be my opinion. The opinion of Carlos. Not the opinion of the Rescue Company One. Or any businesses of the Rescue Company One, or anybody that employs, houses, pays us of the Rescue Company One. Is not their opinion. It is not Dr. Abel's opinion today. Not his opinion. Not the opinion of, anybody that employs him either. So don't do anything stupid and say that he told you to do it. It is the opinion of anybody that's here on the show today, whether it's Trish and Amanda or Jason. It'll be their opinion. If anything I'm going to say is going to offend you, then, well, go fuck yourself and turn it off.
Here at the Rescue Company One, we are shaping up to have a pretty busy 2023. We have a lot of stuff on the calendar already. We're going to kick off our year at Fire Rescue East in Daytona Beach, January 19th and 20th. We do have a booth. It'll be number 527. We're going to be in the arena right across from the fire sled competition.
You'll find me with a giant foam finger.
Yes. Right after that, we're going to be going to St. Augustine for our first air medical class of the year, January 23rd through the 28th. That class is getting decently full, but there is still room.
So you had a advanced airway,
difficult airway course, PHTLS.
Yep.
We got all of the things. It's all listed on our website, The Rescue Company One. You can find it on there. You can get links to go there on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Anywhere you look, you can find us. Following that, we're going to go into Community Paramedic. This is a new program. We are still, working out the glitches with the schedule and things like that. We're going to do week 1 now, March 6th through the 10th. You'll go back to your own program, your hometown or wherever you're from, for 30 days to do a project. And then you're going to come back to us for a second week, April 3rd through the 6th, and we will go over that project and everything that you learned in that time.
Yeah, because every place is different.
It is.
Everybody's got a different need.
And this gives you the chance to be different.
Yep.
And suit your needs. So we will also bring in the ISBC, and we will host to proctor your exam on that Friday, April the 7th. And then we are going to start doing the helicopter search and rescue pipeline, which so many of you ask about. We have found a way that we think it's going to work out fabulously.
Finally.
Yes, we're going to start that with the ropes course in St. Augustine. It'll be March 27th through the 31st.
Yep.
In between there, we are going to have our second air medical class, which is part of the pipeline.
Yeah, you got to do it.
So that class will be in Orlando. We will be here April 17th through the 22nd. We're going to follow that with some water rescue back in St. Augustine.
Yeah, we will.
April 24th through the 29th.
And that's St. Augustine / Georgia. So people do understand there is last few days we are going up to the Columbia River.
Yes, for the water rescue class. So there will be some traveling in there.
Absolutely.
The rest of those classes for the pipeline, we are looking to do helicopter search and rescue technician the beginning of June. You can, again, watch our website, watch our Facebook page for some finalized dates and locations. Obviously, that stuff takes a little bit of time for us to lock in.
Absolutely.
We will, however, be at the First There, First Care conference in Fort Lauderdale.
Yep.
We will be teaching. We'll be walking around.
Hard Rock Casino.
Advertising. Okay. Yes, I enjoyed it last year. Yep. We'll be there June 12th through the 16th. They also have their website up for you to register for any classes or lectures or skills labs that you want to get involved in there. And then we go back to the search and rescue pipeline. We're going to do austere medical, looking towards the end of August.
Long week. Followed by some advanced survival and wilderness search in the middle of September. Again, both of those, watch our website. We will confirm the dates and the exact locations of that. But there is information if you want to learn what you're getting yourself into. We have it all detailed out on our website, therescuecompany1.com. And all the TikToks and... Oh, all the things. Facebook, Instagram. Poker faces, you can find us anywhere. YouTube. We have a YouTube with our videos, and we have our podcasts on there as the road returns.
We will be going to San Diego. I'm a little excited. First time to California for the ECHO conference.
It'll be my second time in California this year.
Yes.
Yes.
But not mine. I'm not going the first time. That conference, which is, as most of you know, very near and dear to our hearts, we will be there. Wouldn't miss it for the world. It will be October 2nd through the 4th. And then to close out our year, we will have our last air medical class in Claremont. We had a wonderful experience there, and they have welcomed us back, so we will be going there October 23rd through the 28th. Again, all the dates are listed on our calendar. You can find the courses in the course store on our website, therescuecompany1.com. You can also go to services and look up any descriptions of all these classes.
And there's more being added.
Yes. And as always, you can contact us on any of those platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, our website, any of that. You can contact us if you have any questions, and somebody somewhere will get back to you. We are all spread out, but somebody will get back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Bye.
Go.
Oh, that was a big point.
Big point.
He just pointed at me.
It's like the whole hand.
I know. It's almost hit me in the face. Welcome to As the Rotor Turns. It's a little bit different now having the promos ahead of time with the disclaimer. So I don't have to do that. But this is me, Carlos, and hey, baby. I love you.
I love you.
And that's Trish. And then birthday buddy.
I'm here.
And it's
I'm
our
here.
birthday this weekend.
Yeah.
We're up here.
birthday.
We're on location.
Happy birthday.
Vacation.
We're on vacation.
What?
Yeah, vacation working.
Happy birthday.
Trish loves
And
it.
Trish has fancy pants on.
Yes, she does.
Mhm.
And great cleavage showing.
I
right
think
now.
that was required.
And then there's the hippo.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Hey guys, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
The hippo's been at it all day
All
preparing
afternoon.
ones and have yous about the podcast today. Very important podcast, which we weren't
it is
scheduled to
very
do.
important.
It is.
So
But we took him to like have fun first, and
Yeah.
then I thought it would help. It didn't work.
it didn't work out well. So, lots of things happening. We do have a special guest today we should introduce. You want to introduce a special guest, buddy?
Yes, we have. In case anyone hasn't noticed, we have recently gone viral on Facebook.
Mhm.
Yeah.
With
Nice.
over 13 million views on a post.
Oh my
And
God.
The amazing words that accompanied some amazing photographs that caused us to go viral were written by our new nurse friend here, Lizzie from
Hi.
San Diego.
Hi.
San Diego, known as a whale's vagina.
The whale's
Yeah.
vagina.
I
Scholars.
I think it means Saint Diego.
Well, we'll
No.
agree to disagree.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm pretty sure it's whale's vagina.
I love the fact that you can quote Anchorman right off the bat on the show.
I mean,
So,
let's have
She's
some
a winner.
fun.
this year we'll get the opportunity to meet you in person twice because we have to go to San Diego twice.
I
Yes.
was gonna say when you get here, look me up.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it'll be awesome. Me and Jason will be driving to San Diego twice.
Yeah,
He's very
He's very excited about it.
Come on over. I'll feed you. I have a great house with a nice little tranquil backyard.
Awesome.
Oh,
Awesome.
Come
There
on
we go.
over.
right.
There we go.
Good.
So lots of things happened this week after the Monday night football game. It's kind of shocked the nation.
Yeah.
Stop. Everything in its place.
Right.
But we like to start with good news. The good news today is that
He is awake. He is extubated. He is talking.
FaceTimed his
is
team.
FaceTimed his team.
Incredible.
He appears to have no neurological defects.
Yeah.
Amazing.
super awesome.
Yes.
Super awesome. It wouldn't be As the Rotor Turns and we didn't do our podcast like we're supposed to.
Yeah, of course.
So we're gonna turn it over to Trish real quick,
Yeah.
who's got a Urban Dictionary word of the week.
CPR.
CPR, Urban Dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
We have a guest. Do you like to guess what the actual definition of it is?
Well, she
From
needs to
Urban
she
Dictionary.
needs to be warned ahead of time what our our intentions are.
yeah, it's
So
from
there-
Urban Dictionary.
There's a lot of shenanigans here.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
Jesus.
we love Urban Dictionary's words. So
Yep.
we're curious to know, what do you think CPR means on Urban Dictionary?
Oh God.
There are so many meanings.
And
I
the worst thing you can think
put me
of
on
is
the
probably
spot.
still not
Yeah,
it.
you're putting me on the spot. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
cherry popping rectum.
Oh,
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 there you
that's a
go.
good
all
one.
right. Look,
That
She-
is a good one.
She
Yeah.
stole mine. Yes,
I wouldn't be a
please.
nurse if I didn't have a
Yeah,
disgusting sense of
yeah.
humor.
I've seen a couple of those.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
right?
likes to practice those.
I do not.
Yes,
what's
No,
with spoons.
whatever.
She works in the ER. She sees that stuff all the time.
That's a true story. Jason?
I would say it might be chasing potential reggaeers. I don't know.
We're not in Jamaica.
I don't know.
I love how his mind works.
Jamaica.
Yeah, I love how his mind works.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah,
So we can swear on this program.
yeah.
yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, you feel free to express yourself.
Yeah.
And if
got potty
anybody
mouth.
did, we gave a disclaimer before the show started. And if anything we say may offend you, well, you turn the shit off.
Yeah.
So
Amanda, any guesses?
I'm gonna go with corned poop roll.
Ugh.
oh, God. Well,
No, I love how several of us were in the butt region. Though.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Not.
I said several.
So, baby, give us a couple meanings there. I'm not gonna take a guess.
You're
'cause-
not going to guess?
No, because we got important stuff to talk about. So we got a
All
couple
right.
definitions.
It's short for cock to pussy resuscitation.
Oh,
Saving a dying pussy with a healthy dose of dick. That's one.
Oh,
wow.
I have
There's
performed that.
a crazy penis reaction.
I think that's a technical term.
There
Yes.
is cock penetrating regularly. When your girlfriend is horny as fuck and needs dick all the time.
Oh, what do we know about that?
I don't know. Who do we know like that?
Yeah.
She carries spoons to bed.
There's also like a Russian CPR.
Yeah, really?
Anybody want to guess what that is?
Oh, all
The
right.
act of blowing into a woman's vagina while simultaneously double fisting her ass.
Oh God,
Lord.
Oh my God.
God!
Hey, Jesus, we just that's against NATO.
Oh my God.
Okay, well,
there's-
moving on.
Anyways,
Wait. There's the
So-
outback CPR, the act of
Last one.
flatulating into another's ass while the unsuspecting prey is urinating or distracted in some other manner and facing away.
Oh my God.
I think we just lost Lizzie. She
Yes.
hung up.
So for anybody listening to the show live for the first time, we're kind of like,
We're
you
not
know,
teaching that, by the way.
we're, I would say about 10% educational, and then we have, 90% of shenanigans.
A whole bunch of fuckery.
Yes, absolutely.
so much fuckery.
So it's kind of insane, the your post it was named perfectly,
You did a great job.
that's
Thank you.
unbelievable. And Amanda, when we saw it go up and Amanda read it to me, I was like, man, I got goosebumps.
Same.
And then to go the next day and like see the amount of people that it actually has reached and
It's
stuff.
crazy.
It's
The amount of
amazing.
comments that talk about like the first time
I
they
love
did
the
CPR.
stories.
I do too.
Yeah.
We are definitely in a winning position because obviously, everything that gets more than probably 1,000 views or comments, there's going to be shitty comments, and there have been some people have opinions, and that's fine. But the good in that post has definitely outweighed all of the negative.
Absolutely.
There's so many good stories.
I've never had anything like this happen to me in my life. Like who
Me
the hell,
either.
who the hell am I? I'm just some chick, and like I wrote something after a shift of it's like work's been shitty. It's people are
Yep.
super sick.
Yep.
And I was responding to something that one of my friends wrote, friend and colleague who is, a CCU nurse and worked in the COVID unit, and she's the code nurse, and her husband is a burn ICU nurse.
Oh.
And she had said, like, I don't know if you guys saw my original post. If not, I'll share it with you later. But it was, we as medical professionals and first responders, we forget that this is not normal. It's not
Yeah.
normal for people to see this. And
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
what you see on Grey's Anatomy and ER and The Resident and all of those shows, it's not real. I've, in my career, in my 16 years as a nurse and 20 years total in this profession, I've seen one person wake up and be like, oh my God, but never say thank you. It was like, what the hell did you do to me? Because
Yeah.
it hurts. We shocked her 3 times.
Yeah.
We went into like a VTAC arrest and we shocked her 3 times with 400 joules. And she woke up, and I mean, we did CPR as well, and she woke up screaming,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like getting kicked in the chest with a mule.
Yeah.
So to go back to this, my friend was like, I don't understand why they're like not getting him off the field and like keep playing. And her husband was like, reality check. This is not normal for everybody.
Yeah.
Just watch, their friend, teammate, 24-year-old man drop dead.
Yeah.
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 And like, thank God that it was witnessed. Thank God it was, people were quick to respond, and thank God he's awake now. Like
Yeah.
they did everything right at the University of Cincinnati, I believe.
Mhm.
Oh, man.
They did everything right.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It really is. But and I watched it. I was watching it live, and I was with a friend of mine who's also a nurse. She and I worked trauma together, and her husband and my boyfriend are non-medical. My boyfriend's a film editor. Her husband was a flight attendant. So she and I are sitting there going back and forth, like rewinding, watching what happened, trying to figure it out. Like, because that's what you do during a code. You do the H's and T's, you do all of the things to try and figure out what the underlying cause is.
Yep.
And we're going through there trying to dissect it. And they're like, this is so disturbing. Stop, like, just turn it off, please. Like, this is upsetting. So that's why I wrote this. And you do forget, like, it's very easy to forget that most people don't see what we see. Like, we see some awful stuff, and we just, push it down, and maybe it'll come out later. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe you go and you cry for 5 minutes in the bathroom, like cry when you get home.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't. And then, but that's the thing. Like, I had another friend of mine who's a doctor. He's a hospitalist. He was like, I don't remember my first code. I don't remember my last code. I could be coding people all my entire shift, and I wouldn't remember it. I'm burnt out.
Wow.
So
It's sad.
to go back a little bit, but you want to tell people about yourself a little bit?
Sure.
So they know who you are?
So I work in San Diego. I have been a registered nurse for a little over 16 years. I have worked pediatrics. I've worked cardiac surgery, stroke, ortho, pretty much everything except for the ER and the ICU. I currently work surgical oncology, transplant, and plastic surgery in a step-down unit, and our patients are pretty sick. I work with an amazing team, and I'm in grad school. I'm in my last year of grad school to become a nurse practitioner.
Oh, nice.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
I wanted to do more, and it's starting. I needed change to like start to feel like I am making more of a difference, because I feel like as a bedside nurse, I'm starting to lose my autonomy, and more of that is getting taken away from us. And I get frustrated by, like, when I work at a teaching hospital, like I've been doing this stuff since some of these, doctors have been learning to tie their shoes. It's like super
Or before
arrogant,
they
but
were
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
For me.
yeah, maybe. For the Doogie Housers out there. But it's frustrating when it's like your years of experience
don't mean anything.
don't mean anything. And it's like, I've seen this, and it's like, I'm trying to do the best for my patients, and it kind of falls on deaf ears. So I wanted to learn more, to learn maybe like the provider side of why the rationale is what it is, but I just want to do more. We're in a shortage in this country, and healthcare is a mess, and I think I could do good.
It's the busiest I think the systems have been ever.
Yeah.
And there's the most overworked that we are, and your post cannot come at the more like of a, like, I mean, this thing, like, it's just the best time. It was a week, and we had this come to Jesus meeting at my job, where we were talking about the system getting busier. Are we a number, or are we just somebody you need? Because in aviation, it's dangerous when we start thinking that way. and
Yeah.
it destroys the culture of safety that we have. And not only can we kill ourselves, we can kill the patient we're trying to transport, and
Yeah.
and we had this big discussion about it, and then this thing shows up, and you're right, like we forget like the things that are normal for us and the things that are not normal for other people to see.
Right.
And then to sit there and to had played the game after this young man just got taken to the hospital, and you don't know if he's got a pulse or not. You don't know what his condition is. We don't know what the news is saying is right or not. To play the game right after that would have been to just ignore that a human just died.
Right. It's a disrespect.
Yeah.
I mean, to his life and his legacy and his family, and disrespectful to I've never been on a sports team where like a football or hockey or anything like that, but as a dancer on a team that way, but my work is my team. My coworkers are my
Yeah.
team. Like
Yeah.
I ain't
we
playing
work
football.
together. Right. So if one of my coworkers were to drop dead, right, where we had to perform CPR on them, and then it was like go back to work, business as usual,
No
I don't
way.
think any one of us would have functioned.
No.
Our patient satisfaction scores would have gone down because we'd have been super
Yeah.
nasty.
Yeah.
And like, why is the nurse crying in my room?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's what we're expected to do when a patient dies.
I think it would have also set up for a lot more injury.
Yeah.
Because now
Oh,
you
yeah.
have these guys playing this high contact game, and some of them are angry because they're emotional, and that's how emotions come out, and others are just not focused and whatever. So now you're hurting each other more. Oh,
Yeah.
and the ambulance is gone, and we're
Yeah.
we're still waiting for another one to come back. But
To me, it wasn't like I was amazed how many people were shocked that the game was canceled. I was amazed that people were like, man, well, what's going to happen now? What do you mean? What the fuck's
Who
going to happen
gives
now?
a shit?
Yeah, who gives
he
a
didn't
fuck?
just
Number
break his
one.
leg.
Yeah, who gives a fuck? Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, you're in the end. This is the fucking NFL. And if you don't have a contingency plan, if we got to call off a game to play this game again, then you are the wrong idiots are in charge.
Right.
Well, isn't that usually the case?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, damn, like it's not surprising, but listen, as a football player, I play football, as an adult, not at the pro level in the NFL like that. But the fact is I would never fucking go back on that field and play
No way.
that night or,
No.
at all. It'd be hard. It is shocking what happened.
I don't know if I could step foot in that stadium again, to be honest.
It's very, very shocking. And one of the things is when you look at the actual clip, you look at it and you go, they barely ran into each other.
Yeah.
And what most people would think is like, man, that could happen to anybody. And it really could happen to anybody. But I guess what you were talking about before is that it's something that is high propensity for certain people, certain races, certain
yeah, we it's funny, it's not funny, but like me and Corey Richter, the play happens, Corey goes, hey man, they're doing CPR on some dude, and on the field he's a guy that works for us here, and we see the replay and we both say it at the same time. It's like, oh, Komodo cordis, you know what I mean? Here you go, being struck on the chest. And what's one of the things that when you like read up on Komodo cordis is that, the larger the heart, the bigger the target is. And, sometimes black males have a larger heart just through hypertrophy. And it's just a natural thing that happens,
Is there anything else that they have larger that you can think of?
Well,
You want to find out?
yes.
He does.
Yeah,
we have it in our
He's
text.
seen it multiple times. If I could take a sidebar on Jason's measuring ability of shit.
Oh my
Let's not.
God.
Let's
Holy
not.
shit. And
So Lizzie,
Yeah.
Yes.
I have up here one of the people, the amount of people that you reach with your posts, and I don't know if you've been following this, but
So
this the one I have right now is 1.3 million.
And that was amazing.
That is not it.
So Jody, who runs this account,
Yeah.
I was on a radio show many, many years ago here in San Diego for like a year. It was talk radio, kind of like before podcasts were really a thing. She was a guest on our show. we've stayed in touch, and she's amazing. So she asked me if she could post this. Now, keep in mind, this is on my personal page, and I've had 45 likes to it, like 3 comments to it. And then so she, she sends it to me, and I go to work. She's like, I'm posting this. I'm like, cool, whatever. Go to work, have a great shift. It's a wonderful night, actually. Like, in all seriousness, I had great patients, great night. And she sends me a message in the morning. She was like, like 400,000. And I was like, And then it was like 700,000 20 minutes later. And I was like, what is going on? And then I had people texting me and being like, is this you? Like, sending me a screenshot of this? Like, my friends being like, because my Facebook, thank God, isn't tagged in it, because I've had that happen to me before with things, and like literally have gone to my work and try and get me fired for things that I've said on like people's private Facebook.
Yeah.
So I didn't need, people are nuts, man. I didn't need people like trying to find me. And like, that's not even my real name, to be honest. It's not my real name. Well, yes, it's an alias. I mean, Lizzie is my real name, but like the last name's not mine. So
we love having people on
we
that don't like having their name said. Says we
change it every
every time.
we say it.
So
yeah.
So one of the last updates I have here is 12 million. I know we're probably surpassing 13 million.
Oh.
How do you feel like knowing that many people actually like care that much about your post and have something to say about it?
It's really surreal. I'm like still floored by it. And then like I've tried, it's impossible to keep up with the comments. So I will get alerts when people like tag me. It's usually people that have negative things to say or like really positive things to say. But I've been amazed at how few people have been nasty.
Yeah, I have too.
And then when the people that have been nasty, the like literal maybe 100 people at most that I've seen, the people then come and fly to my defense and everybody. I'm just like, I've never seen anything like that. I'm like, I don't know how, this happened.
There's those assholes out there that are just doing it for a reaction. That they, they could care less about what the topic is, but they want to, they want a reaction. So.
Exactly. It's like, you now you've gone viral. I'm like, I don't give a shit that I went viral. That was not the intention, is to go viral. I mean, cool. It's bringing my favorite part about being a nurse is being an advocate and like educating people so that they can take better care of themselves and not end up back in my care. But also, I'm a union rep. Like I advocate for my patients. I advocate for my coworkers and my profession. Like, I'm a fan favorite in the C-suite. Let me tell you, I have the biggest mouth.
Listen, I'm not a fan favorite of the people I work for sometimes either. But I
my patients love me though.
I mention a lot of shit, and I mention stuff that I'm the best worst employee you can have, because I'm gonna push, like I'm gonna do the rules to the very edge of them. I'm not gonna break them, but then I'm gonna make sure the rules when you try to write me up or try to do something. I will do everything I do when I show up to work is to make sure that the people I work with are in the best possible mental space and physical space to do the job, and that the patient's getting taken care of. After that, I don't give two shits what you think and don't think. You know what I'm saying? It's so, but buddy, what you got going on over there?
Kim.
we have
yay!
We have a good comment. Kim Sanders on her Facebook page. She first asked if she could share our live. And she says, I'm a former ICU RN whose comment has blown up under this post. I've just been blown away by the number of responses to my comment. Obviously, this whole event has struck a chord with people. I feel strongly that this is something that needs to be talked about much more. Death, end of life planning, when to do CPR, and when to make the choice not to.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So many factors to that.
I don't know if you guys have read what Kim does. So Kim is an end of life doula. She left the ICU. Oh, wow. I didn't even know that was a thing. I knew hospice nurses, but like so I came into nursing. I didn't choose this. This chose me. My mom, I was going to be a party planner. I want to be a party planner when I was in college. Like my first year, I was like, I'm going to, graduate, and I'll tell you this brief story, the synopsis. So my mom got sick at the end of my freshman year, and stage 4 metastatic melanoma. She was 46 years old. I'm 41. Wow. Like, she was in and out of the hospital all summer, and she seized. My poor, like, 80-year-old grandmother saw her seize on the floor, and like she was arthritic and like very crippled, and witnessed my mom like basically dying. So she went to the hospital, went to ICU, and visiting hours did not apply to my family. They kicked my dad out at shift change to go home and like make sure his teenage daughters weren't fucking up the house. We were. And I would go there with my friends, would like stop at the hospital at 4:00 in the morning and let me go upstairs and say goodnight to my mom. And her ICU nurse pulled me out and was like, what are you going to do what are you in school for? And I told him, and he was like, you're wasting your life. And I was like, fuck you, dude. You don't know me. Like, he was like, you want to be a party planner? What are you going to do with that? Like, you're wasting your life. And he was like, I was like, all right, guy. Like, what should I do? He's like, you should be a nurse. I was like, no, sir. Don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to clean up poop and pee and vomit. Touch And he was like, if you think that's all we do, then I have clearly misjudged you and you're not paying attention. And then he was like, I've seen you with your mom and with us and with the doctors. Like, you have it, and you would be wasting your life. And I actually got the opportunity to write him a letter and give it to him 5 years later, after 5 years after I became a nurse. And my mom actually died on 9/11.
Wow.
So every time, like, school sucked, it was hard, and I missed my mom and I was grieving, but everything I do is because of her, and she changed so many lives in her short life, and it made a huge impact. And I carry that, and I carry her ICU nurse. I believe his name was Derek or Dennis. I can't remember. Trauma grief. But yeah, those two, they changed everything. I forget where I was going with this, but
it's just one of those things where anything that somebody that is outside of your little circle can do to make you feel better, to make you think about something differently or a different way, is helpful. And that's kind of what happened with this situation. Birthday Buddy is going to go over some of the details of it.
Oh, you were done.
Yes.
Whenever you want to jump in.
He pointed.
I'm not allowed to look. I have to face you, not him.
Well, I'll give you a sign when I go.
So
like
helpful.
This,
yeah.
he's pointing.
Oh. Okay.
Or steal.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Go ahead.
So just a little background to those of you catching up. Obviously, it's something that at this point has been viewed worldwide. There was a football game Monday night, Bills versus Bengals, in Cincinnati, and a player, Damar Hamlin from the Bills, was hit in the chest by the shoulder of T. Higgins, who I also have something to say about that when we get a little bit further. The play was over. He stood up and immediately fell backward to the ground. The medical team rushed over to him, and they were able to assess that he was unresponsive and not breathing. They immediately began CPR in the middle of the football field, surrounded by thousands. Because there were emergency crews on the field, trained and prepared, he collapsed and got to the University of Cincinnati Medical Center within 30 minutes, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And they got him back before they moved him.
Yep.
Obviously.
So one, I was just going to ask really quick, Carlos, with that specific situation, if they hadn't had, a defibrillator and AED, would they still be able to help him?
And again, we're speculating that it is commotio cordis, or
that's it hasn't been official.
Right. So speculating that it is commotio cordis, your heart's in a sense fibrillating, right? Mm-hmm. So having a defibrillator right then and there, being able to fix the problem, and then the biggest thing is the high quality CPR that he was getting right off the bat, I think is why you have that's the big chain in this whole thing.
Machines are great. Yeah. AEDs are amazing tools to have.
But is the person pressing on the chest?
High quality CPR.
High quality CPR.
Yeah, absolutely. Right away. Like, he collapsed, identified, and it was just all done in that, American Heart Chain of Survival. I mean, you couldn't have a better picture for that, and
limit time off the chest.
Yes, and they compressed them. They got pulses back, and then he did code again a few times, but again, he's in the presence of CPR, right?
Yeah.
And this is why you
And eventually drugs.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, they had to have had epi on them,
Yeah,
and
absolutely. And you know what's insane is I just weeks ago I was talking to people about being at the listening in on the AHA updates and the different things and traumatic arrest and CPR versus no CPR and all the different stuff, the heads up CPR, all these shenanigans that are out there. And let me tell you something. Press on the chest,
Yeah.
let it recoil.
Yep.
And then do it at the appropriate rate. That you can't get any better than that.
Nope.
staying alive, baby.
Yeah,
Just
you
string it
can't get-
along.
You can't get any better than that. The other thing that again speculating that is, if it was Komodo cordis and there's the Stokes Adams patient, which is something else we brought up as you research and you look through this, which is that person that has just a prolonged refractory period that eventually causes them to go in and out of like things like heart blocks and VFib and stuff like that. If he was in that prolonged phase of that relative refractory period, then he being hit in the chest at that right time could cause you to have that Komodo cordis. There was somebody when we were bringing up and researching, brought up if it can be a long QT problem, and it's impossible because he's in the process of running, so his heart rate's fast. And long QT is not a problem when your heart rate's fast. How do you fix prolonged QT? Speed up the heart rate,
Yeah.
So the other thing that we were thinking of as like the possible differentials was maybe he had a cardiac tamponade. Like if he got hit in just the right way and his little tear in his heart and because he stood up and then he dropped. And if I thought I saw what I saw his hand go up. So maybe he did, maybe I don't know. So only time will tell, but all that
what the
really
actual
matters.
cause is. He's
All that
alive.
really matters is he's alive, and that the people that worked on him like recognized it, jumped to it, and high quality CPR and the whatever AED or not, like it's a CPR. Like you are manually pumping that heart, and that's all that matters. You don't even have to do like I mean, the AHA doesn't even recommend doing respirations.
Not anymore. And it's one of the interesting things to. Prior to the show, I go, let me just do some last minute stuff in there. And it's just question around the table here. What do you think the year that the actual recommendation for compressing on the chest came out?
1950 something.
Yeah, go back.
1844.
Yeah. So
really?
So no, so when you look at it, it's actually 1904 is like when the people recommend, where one doctor actually did it and was able to resuscitate somebody. In 1904, he was able to do resuscitation. 1924, 6 cardiologists, because nobody was listening to the research from this other doctor in Chicago, created the American Heart Association. And then they started to do the research on it. But it's not till like this is the kicker here. So 1957, around there, they were starting to do stuff. 1957, John Hopkins was starting to shock people and see if it really worked or not. So dog animal studies. But in the 1960s, Dr. Peter Safford, and amongst some other doctors just got together and basically took all the different research, combined mouth to mouth and the external cardiac massage. And with the help of the American Hearts is when they actually started pushing the CPR.
My favorite, everything, all of that is beyond important. My favorite thing about this story is that because he had high quality CPR so fast, he has no neurological defects. He woke up still intubated, was able to write. His first question was, "Did we win?
Did we win the game?"
I read that.
And
what a guy.
And for us in our fire family, that is something that is very near and dear to us because we have, our own personal walking miracle, that same thing, high quality CPR. And, we still have him. Yes, he is crazy, but that's not new. So there are really no neurological defects going on there.
Allegedly.
Well, but on top of that, so like I would imagine, from what I read, and I don't know what is real and what isn't anymore, but they also iced him. They cooled him down, slowed his metabolic rate. And that is probably another portion of it. So all of this research that has been done with the advancements and what we can do to help save people's lives is so important. And the fact that anybody can go and take a CPR class now, like they really should teach. I remember we learned it in health class, I think in like middle school, but I feel like it's something that should be taught every year. It should be part of your like driving retest. It should be part of,
Well, it's part of Florida schools now. So in the Florida school things. So like, there's two opportunity things like 8th grade, and then again somewhere in the 11th grade where it's like one of those things.
I'm not sure it's mandatory yet.
It's not mandatory.
It's not mandatory yet, but it got passed in the legislature 2018. So it's probably in that period of getting it started for everybody.
Good.
Yeah, which is
now
great.
we do CPR on people, like you never used to do it on somebody who had like an LVAD, and now you do.
Now we're doing it.
Now we are.
Now we're doing it.
Yep. Now we're doing it.
Yeah. So we have Dan Miller on, Chief from the County of Lakes. But before we get to him,
Retired.
I'm gonna have Birthday Buddy read this message from Facebook.
Rachel says, the nurses in the ICU that took care of my daughter before she passed were amazing. I'm now friends with them on Facebook. We're so sorry to hear about your daughter. However, we are so glad that you had a great experience with your nurses.
Yeah, absolutely. Heather Fred was also talking about how long they work somebody on scene prior to transporting them. CPR saves lives. So, Chief Miller, if you want to go ahead and take over the floor and just quickly introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your story.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
What's
Yeah, beard and glasses. Who are you?
Retired.
Yeah, you know how it is. Retired life. That's how it goes. So
I love
Good for
it.
you.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So this whole thing's kind of surreal for me, actually. I watched it live right as it happened Monday night, and I was like, wow. And my kids were all starting to ask me questions about what do you think happened and that kind of stuff. So I was just doing my best to, give them my thoughts on it. But I told them, I was explaining to them, since you guys were talking about CPR, I'm like, the best thing for him right now is to sit there and just do compressions. And
Yep.
that's exactly what they did. And that's exactly
why did you say that? How long were you dead?
That was total or just the first time? No.
Total.
I've had 90 minutes of compressions.
Oh my God.
So, that was broke up over 3 different times, once at the scene, once in the ambulance, and then again at the hospital. So
can I ask you how you felt after? How'd your chest feel? How'd your lungs feel? No, in all seriousness though. Like
what I've noticed so far between my situation, obviously, and Damar's is I can't believe that he could remember the details. Like he woke up, who won the game,
Yeah.
Wow.
I still can't remember a 2-week time period. So it's just crazy to me. But I think I was out a lot longer than he was too. But yes, the pain, the chest, it hurt for weeks afterwards.
I remember being in the CVICU and we were trying to smuggle in heating pads and stuff because we were trying to do anything we could to get the pain in your shoulder.
Yep.
Did the one, I think we did record Danny before he was on the show, so we definitely will put those notes up there so we can go back and get kind of like the whole feel of that story of that time, and everything. But Danny, did you know, like, if did you get cooled and stuff like that? You got to the hospital.
Yep. I was. They cooled me down, did the hypothermia thing, all that, kept me sedated.
And like for the people that are listening in for the first time, which is a lot of people, you called 911 on yourself.
Yeah.
Yep. So I had been feeling weird for a few days, actually probably a few weeks, and then I was just at home, and I called in sick to work that day, and from what I was told, I called 911 and said my back hurts. Send the guys out here. I think I'm having a heart attack. So they did, and I opened the door for them, and they were like, "Hey, Chief, what's up?" And I'm like, "Man, I think I'm having a heart attack." And then face down right in front of them. So they worked right there on the floor, got me back in the hospital, or got me back on the floor, loaded me up. We started transporting halfway to the hospital, coded again, couple rounds, got me back, got me to, to the ER, and just by chance, one of the greatest, cardiovascular surgeons there, a cardiologist was there, and they just went to it and started doing all the craziness, man, and doing things that they normally wouldn't do, which they put me right on ECMO while I was in the cath lab. They couldn't even take me to the OR, none of that. They actually did 45 minutes of compressions on the cath lab table.
Wow.
Just so they had to do compressions just to get the dye to flow so they could see what was going on. So when I went back and visited the cath lab, a month or so later, they were like, "Hey, you want to see your video?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And they played a video of them, because they video everything in the cath lab, of a nurse doing compressions on me. That was a really weird to watch.
Oh my God.
Can I ask a question? The
Sure.
crew that ran on you, what happened after they ran on you?
That was my question too.
What happened to them? What do you mean?
Yeah, did
they go back to
Did
work?
they go back to work?
Yeah, so you knew them,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They finished their shift?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from what I was told, they went back, finished their shift.
They were out of service for a while. They were at the hospital for a while waiting with, everybody else.
Family.
So they were out of service for a little while, but they did, once they kind of stabilized him and put him in the CVICU, they went back in service and they all went back to work.
Wow.
And how are they after the fact? Like,
well, none of them really liked him, so they were perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Do I want to save your life? I don't know.
We have some absolutely amazingly tear-jerking video and photos of the crew outside the hospital doors greeting him when he left to go home.
Wow.
Yeah.
That saved him. So.
And you went back to work. That's the other thing people need to know.
He did.
Oh.
How many more years after your heart attack did you work at the fire department for? You just retired like 2 weeks ago,
Yeah,
right?
that happened October of 19, and I just December of 22, so 3 more years.
Yeah.
You're insane.
Yep.
And I do think it is important to note that he did not go back to work with medical restrictions. He ended up back to work
full duty,
fully released, full duty,
released.
Full active duty.
Yeah.
It
was not very easy. It was a fight, but I still had to, or I got to go back. So.
But you did it.
Fully
you got
running
there
into burning buildings and like throwing somebody over your shoulder and carrying them out after having a massive MI that killed you a couple times.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is why I love fire. I mean, firefighters, you guys are, I've said this, I'll tell anybody who will listen that firefighters are my favorite people. Like, honestly, fuck the rest. No, I shouldn't say that, but you guys are the bravest. I mean, literally you run into buildings that are 1,000 degrees to pull out anybody and everything. I saw a video the other day of them there was nobody in the building, but a cat who was suffocating suffering from smoke inhalation, and they're bagging the cat. Like, that is, and I have someone who has 3 cats. One is sitting next to me. It's really heartwarming. I think you guys are a special breed of people, and there's not enough credit given to you guys. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Chief, for coming on. I appreciate it. I know you have something to get back to, so we won't take too much more of your time up.
Good to see you, Danny.
Yeah, great to see you.
Glad you're well.
We love our miracle walking Danny Miller, and I don't care how much you hate it. I'm always going to refer to you as that now, and you're always going to be Danny Miller.
Yep.
Enjoy retirement, Dan.
We love
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Bye.
Something that was brought up, and again, we have to kind of like discuss some educational points on things, since we are, here is you had the tamponade differential and stuff, and describing that, there's definitely reversible causes of cardiac arrest out there, right? We call them H's and T's. Yep. Jason, name the H's. I love putting Jason on the spot.
Hypoxia, hypothermia, hydrogen ion, hypovolemia, and not hypoglycemia. I know that's one, but hypokalemia.
Yeah.
Hypokalemia.
Yeah. So then and then the T's, you got the tension pneumo, right? Tamponade, trauma. They say trauma on there. Yeah. Thrombus. Toxins.
Thrombus.
That's how you say it in Spanish. And then, and toxins. And the tamponade differential is one of those that we go. What are the signs and symptoms of a tamponade? People go muffled heart sounds, JVD, hypotension, narrowing pulse pressure, with, all those signs of, obstructive shock. But when you're in cardiac arrest, you're not going to get the muffled heart sounds or any of that stuff.
Yeah,
Because
nobody's
your
going to
heart's
be
not beating.
nobody's going to be checking
Yeah.
that either.
I really,
You can't hear it.
Yeah.
from the educational side of this, I genuinely hope that when they get answers to what happened to him, that it is released and it is
I
it'll
do
be
too.
great
it's
to people
public
to
and it
learn.
is something that people can learn from. Jody just posted a comment that said she found an interesting story that Damar had an issue with a hernia repair and surgical mesh being placed.
When?
Man,
Wow.
those-
I don't know. So it makes me, there's so much speculation about what it could be. And,
you always see the
May that have
surgical
something to
mesh
do with a
thing.
locus or something?
Jody right there is the reason that we're all here talking about this.
It's-
right
Oh, yeah.
now.
Oh
we
yeah,
love her.
absolutely.
She's the
Absolutely.
best. We love
So-
And
Jody.
I am beyond excited and proud of her that she, used her brain power and put all of this together. And, this is just as much a win social media wise for her as it is for
Yeah.
us. And
Yeah.
we give all the credit to her. And
Yeah.
of course she's humble and she
Yeah.
shares it. And
And it's
whatnot, but-
biggest thing here, as the rotor turn, the rescue company won, and it's a team effort. Everything
It
we do
is.
here is a team effort, and it's not just one person or two. It's just there ain't a lot of us, but there's a tight knit group of people,
we're a
and
family.
then people like Jody, man, she goes out and she finds
Yeah.
the forces out there and the collaborators and the people that and brings she's the cheese in the pizza.
Yeah. And I don't say it very often, but Jody and I did have a difference of opinion on how to approach
Yeah.
this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Jody wins. She was right.
She's a genius.
There's one thing, Jody, when we talked to Jody earlier, and I'm sure we'll get those we pre-recorded stuff that we did earlier up. But football is an important thing to America. As the United States, football is one of those important things, and the history of football, how it becomes. But that people dying on the field was a reason that football almost went away in the early 1900s. Roosevelt actually instituted the forward pass. Congressional hearings were had about this, and football rules were changed, and that's how football today we come to know it as what it is. So it's super important.
It'll be.
I feel like he needs to make fun of me for a second.
Who
What's
does?
happening here?
What
What
are you talking
Because
about?
I said that she was right and I was wrong.
Oh.
I feel like you have something to say about that.
So one of the things, like growing up and playing sports like you have,
Yep.
Has there been anybody that has died in sports with you? Now, because I know there was a very, very talented guy that played every sport in high school. He was a black guy, but he was skinny. He was kind of short, but he could catch the ball no matter how hard somebody threw it. He was so fast. He could catch the ball. And at some point during a basketball game, he died.
Which who
In
talking
high
about?
school?
Yeah, and in high school, yeah.
Wow.
His last name was Kwashi, out of
Yeah.
Umatilla.
Yes, I remember that.
Do you really?
Yeah.
It was it's the craziest thing because he was an amazing athlete, like crazy, and for him to just die that out of nowhere, what makes you wonder if could it be something like this? What could that have been? His issue.
That sickle cell, it could be a number of things, man.
Yeah.
We don't know. Like that's the thing. Anything we say now is speculation, right? And like I'm what we see. We don't know. Like till tests being done and everything. The UCF player dropped dead during practice. Like they were doing two a days, and he ended up being hyperthermic. Not knowing he had a history of sickle cell. Yeah, he stroked out.
Yeah.
And it's just there's so much that could happen on the football field or
any field
or any sport.
It'll be interesting to see how, if it was, what we're saying, Cordis
Komodo Cordis, yeah.
Yeah, there. Komodo dragon.
Well, bless you.
Dragon, that's what I called it.
It'll be interesting because I've heard of this happening in like Little League or high school baseball where a kid gets hit in the chest by an errant pitch.
Yep.
And they started wearing chest plates. So it'll be interesting to see how the leagues, football, basketball, all of them will change their safety requirements, their equipment, to then maybe prevent in the future this from happening again.
One of the biggest things that I think we get out of this is teaching more people CPR, making sure that more people understand that, just because somebody falls down doesn't mean that they're joking or playing, or like they could actually be really injured,
Yeah.
and they need some help. And then AEDs
Yeah.
should be everywhere on every street corner.
Yeah,
You
Just
know what's
have-
interesting is here in Florida, for patients that are in assisted livings don't have to have AEDs.
It's crazy to me.
Like
Yeah.
nursing homes do not have to have AEDs.
That's so crazy.
So
That's
the other
so-
thing that I think is really important to like address is having these kinds of conversations about,
Oh,
do you want
absolutely.
CPR, like with your elderly families? And like, this has been my soapbox for years.
Are we
having
related?
We might be like
You
having,
look
I
like
mean,
it.
we could, I mean, we might be my long lost sister over here.
I think so.
But like having done, I've done some really traumatic codes, but I remember having to do one on like a 90-year-old who was supposed to go home the next day. And I
Yeah.
remember she had a C2 fracture. I remember coming in and being like, she's a full code. Like she was 80 pounds soaking wet. And I was like, she's going to die tonight. I know she's going to die. She wasn't on the monitor because she was going home in the morning. And the
Yeah.
nurse that I was getting a report from, she was like, she's fine. Don't say that. She's like, she's totally okay. Like she's going home. And sure as shit at
She
midnight,
went home. She's
she,
never
She
out.
went
yeah,
home.
she went to Jesus. She
Yeah.
she peed the bed. We were turning her, and she was talking to us. And we turned her back, like she had the C collar on, and we were still supporting the neck. And I turned her back, and I looked at her, and it was like she changed. You can see the change.
Yeah.
And I looked at her, and I looked at my coworker. I said, "Yo, is she breathing?" And he put his face down. He goes,
Nope.
"Dude, no."
That's
But like,
No.
I really don't want. I literally looked at her. I was like, I really don't want to do this to you, sweetie. I'm so sorry. Like hit the code button, threw the backboard under her, and immediately on the chest. And I just felt everything
Horrible.
break,
Oh,
Yeah.
and then the ribs rubbing against each other, and just a massive hematoma formed. And then she turned to mush. And the docs came in, and the attending was like, "Is she a full code?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "This is cruel." Somebody called the family, and the family eventually showed up. We got her back, sent her the unit. She's maxed out on pressors. Family saw her code down there. They came in like an hour later. They came up to get her stuff before going to see her. I was like, "Get the fuck downstairs." And they were like, once they saw one round of CPR, they were like, done. But this is the thing, is like every single patient needs to have this conversation and I would really wish that they would stop calling it a do not resuscitate order or a DNR and call it allow natural death, because
Yeah.
everybody deserves to die with dignity.
we were
Absolutely.
just talking about this regarding like animals, how it's
we give them more
we-
dignity.
We
than
get
Yes.
so much more
they get
dignity.
so much more dignity, so much more respect. They're not forced to suffer.
Yeah.
Yet this 80-pound lady who is she's tired, she's done.
Yeah,
I can't tell you how many of those codes I've done.
it's
Yeah,
awful.
we see it all
It
the
is
time.
awful.
Horrible.
I hate the people that do have the do not resuscitate form, and the family decides to not honor it.
Oh, I have
Those
only
are the
seen
worst.
I have only seen
Yeah.
one doctor in my 25-year career honor a DNR that a family has tried to rescind.
Yeah, like
One.
having the family rescinded and do stuff, and it's nuts.
That's not what the patient wanted.
No, it's not what they wanted, and why do it?
Yeah, they don't give a DNR out just because. Like,
Right.
it's a legitimate reason that they
Yeah.
give it out.
Yeah.
So let's honor the wishes of that person.
Signed by a
worked with
couple
it.
doctors and everything.
Yeah.
Right.
I work with an ICU doc when a patient who was in like end stage liver, confused, tied down, the whole nine. And the family was like, keep going. He wasn't going to get a transplant. And everything he's shutting down. And
Yeah.
the ICU doc said, "I will not resuscitate him.
Good for that.
I
doc.
won't."
Yeah, thank God.
She has graduated fellowship. She was one of if I knew she was on, she was awesome. Shout out Dr. Rose. Like she was fucking rad.
Yeah,
That is
She
awesome.
was rad. So wherever she is, if she's listening, you kick
yeah,
ass.
out there.
So
What you got, buddy?
the American Heart Association sent out like a mass email to everyone that's registered through them in regard to the Damar Hamlin situation, because obviously, what saved him? High quality
CPR.
CPR,
Yeah, absolutely.
or just plain CPR. They kept his they kept pumping on his chest. If that was all they were able to do, then that would have made a difference. So a couple of the things that they included in this email I thought were just good to share. And I'm going to send them to Ms. Jody to post on our page. What is cardiac arrest and why is CPR and AED so important? Cardiac arrest is when the heart stops abruptly with little or no warning. Early recognition of cardiac arrest improves the person's chance of survival and is key to starting the correct care of CPR and the appropriate use of defibrillation to restart the heart. CPR can help keep the heart pumping and blood flowing to vital organs until an electrical shock from a defibrillator is available to restore the heart to a normal rhythm. So right there, it pump the chest. You're still doing something. You might not think you are because they're not like doing that and they're awake and oh my God, you saved my life. Like that's not going to happen.
No.
But
Well,
you are
it may, but
still
probably not.
But you're doing something.
Yeah.
You're moving blood and you're hopefully making it so that other organs in their body are not dying.
Absolutely.
And I had seen another statistic from physicians in regard to him that were sharing that every minute you are without that blood flow, you gain a 7 to 10% more chance of not recovering fully.
Yeah.
So the fact that this guy and our own guy is fully there, like neurologically healed, this kid only 2 days. He took a 2-day nap and then he got on the phone with his teammates and he's
Did he
and part of
win?
that was forced. Like they sedated
know.
him so
Oh,
that
yeah,
he,
there's-
so
I
that he
mean,
was
They
out.
cooled him.
Yeah.
I don't really want to go
cool.
through the CPR thing, but 2-day nap sounds great.
Yeah.
So the last thing from the AHA was, what do you need to know about CPR? Each year in the United States, an estimated 350,000 people experience sudden cardiac arrest in the community. Roughly 70% of cardiac arrests that do not happen in the hospital occur in homes and private residences. Therefore, a friend or family member is most likely to be the person who needs to take action. CPR, especially if performed immediately, can double or triple a cardiac arrest victim's chance of survival.
Absolutely.
So it's important for everybody to know something.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not, we're not saying that every person needs to know exactly high quality CPR and how to do it
Sure
as
we
a
are.
provider or whatever, but you need to know something.
And the American Heart offers so many different options.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
So
everybody.
I don't want to put my mouth on them.
You don't
that
have to.
You don't
Compression
have
only.
to.
that's an old thing.
Yeah.
That's old.
You
We
don't do
don't
that
teach
anymore.
Yeah, compressions only.
Yeah.
And the important part is being on the chest. Keep minimizing the interruptions to the
Don't-
compressions and allowing that good recoil. That's just that whole high quality portion of it. If you
Don't stop for long periods
yeah.
of time.
No.
and if you don't know how to breathe for the patient, you're only going to do worse. You're only going
Right.
to damage. So
Mhm.
hey, don't lip
Just
lock them
compress the
if
chest.
that grosses you out, and just press on the chest.
And I'm really interested and hopeful for what you were talking about. I think that CPR should be in schools.
Yeah, I'm telling you that. Again, I'm one of
Driver's
those
ed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm one of those dudes that sits there at these legislative meetings and stuff
Mhm.
like that and pays attention to the little details. And then people tell me, "Oh, that's not really happening." I'm like, "Well, the fuck it ain't. Let's look it up."
My
You know,
my 15-year-old, almost 15-year-old was babysitting our friend's kids the other day.
yeah,
You have a
3 little ones.
15-year-old? First of all, you look like
Yes.
you're 15 yourself.
Yes. And he calls me like in the middle of the day. Everything's totally fine. I had been checking on him because I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. The youngest one's 3. So
Yeah.
come on. And he goes, Mom, this is great and everything's going fine, but you need to let me talk to Uncle Carlos because he needs to teach me how to do CPR.
Yeah.
So I can keep doing this. And
yeah.
that way, in case one of these little monsters does something,
yeah.
I'm good. I can save him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
especially with little ones like CPR
Yes.
for the
Yeah.
Heimlich and all. I don't
Yes,
even
more
call it
that than
anymore, but
anything.
yeah.
My
'Cause they put
12-year-old
shit
knows
in their
how to do
mouth.
it.
You need to
Mine doesn't.
yeah, but we're gonna get them in there.
But
You know?
but I think it's amazing that it's something that it is out there a little bit more now, and he is aware that it is a thing and he wants to learn it.
So,
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
one year for Halloween, we had to do a trunk or treat for the kids' school. And we brought CPR mannequins and had the kids practice on the
Nice.
CPR mannequins
That's
to get
awesome.
candy.
That's cool.
I
And
love
that's
that.
something simple.
Mhm.
Something simple to do. And
Mhm.
And they probably loved it.
They
They
probably
did.
will never forget it either. That's a core memory.
Yeah, that is a core
Love
memory.
that. I
And,
love
and
that.
that is why Zoe knows CPR, because she showed so many people how to do it.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
awesome.
a little story here to go into a little something that I think birthday buddy here wants to talk about. But prior to this particular Monday Night Football game and this happening in there, one of the most iconic, they've made a movie about this thing and everything, scenes from injuries from football is the Joe Theismann hit by Lawrence Taylor.
Okay.
So we were just, for some reason, that came up on Sunday. We had Sunday dinner at my house. And Sunday dinner at my house, we were talking about the Joe Theismann hit with Lawrence Taylor hits him. And as a tackle happens, Lawrence Taylor already knows this guy's leg. Something's wrong with this dude's leg. And he's signaling for the stretcher. To bring out the Joe Theismann, and stuff. So, and then this Monday Night Football hit happens, which is, I'm like, man, we were just talking about something like this, right? If you've never seen the movie The Blind Side, watch The Blind Side.
Great movie.
Starts off with that hit.
Best
That's
movie
it.
ever.
That's the hit
Great
that kind of creates this whole thing. Lawrence, the effect on Lawrence Taylor was huge. So Lawrence Taylor, it played for the Giants. Joe Theismann played for the Redskins, and there's this rivalry and everything. Joe Theismann had the football. Lawrence Taylor did his job, and he hit him. He hits Joe Theismann, and that was the last football game Joe Theismann ever played.
Yeah,
that it's one of those things that affected LT for a long time. He's talked about it. He's been on stuff, and Ty Diggs, like, how does
and this could very easily be Damar Hamlin's last game. This could,
hopefully not.
Hopefully not, but it could be.
Yeah.
You don't know that.
Yeah.
So I saw a post earlier that we were talking about, and people were talking about T. Higgins, the Cincinnati Bengals player who is the one that hit him.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this. He went to the hospital.
Never left.
He didn't leave till he woke up.
I mean, someone needs to check on that man.
Yes,
absolutely.
That's what this person was saying is I can't imagine being in his shoes, replaying that moment over and over again in his head that he was the last one whose body had contact with Hamlin before he went down. This man needs to be showered with prayer, love, and mercy. Any of us could cause accidental harm to another, leaving us riddled with unbridled guilt for the rest of our life. So tonight, let's include Higgins in our prayers as well. He needs just as much healing and comfort as the Hamlins do.
He sure does.
And maybe I'm just jaded by the fact that I love this game so much, and it's given me the opportunity to be here in front of this microphone talking to you guys came from the playing this fucking football game, man. It gave me so many opportunities. It showed me how to be part of a team. It showed me everything. But when you look at these guys playing in the NFL, they're living out their dreams.
Yeah.
On top of living out the result of years of hard work.
Yeah, it's not easy.
The years of hard work. And when these guys are going at it 100% for our entertainment. Yeah. Right? Like, they're sitting there entertaining us, the sports fan, putting their life in danger every time. And I think if anything, this situation also illustrates is the fact that they are, vulnerable to injury. They are out there, and it's just not child's play, man. It is a kid's game, if some asshole wants to call it that, but come play this kid's game at that level.
Yeah. It's the best of the best of the best.
Like getting hit by a Mack truck.
Yeah. I remember it was yesterday. We were playing this team. I played semi-pro ball here, the team in Orlando, and we went up to play a team in Charlotte, and the Charlotte team had 4 Panthers. They weren't starters on the Panthers, but they were good enough to be on that NFL team.
Right.
And these are big guys. They're linemen, but I remember one guy was faster than our fastest guy on our team, and he is 10 times the size of that.
Yeah.
You imagine, 300-pound man that can move that fast coming at you.
Freight train.
Yeah.
It's a freight train.
And then you look at, the smaller guys that are in the NFL are just artists at the game and being able to be in the right position at the right time and be able to hit safely. I think, the NFL gets a bad rap, but it's done a lot of stuff to make the game safer. Right? It has a lot of, mitigated the difference of hits. They've added rules to protect people, I just don't want this to be turned into a beat up on the NFL thing at the end of the day.
I don't think it should.
And you got to understand that the NFL gives, a guy like Higgins and any other any Damar, any of these other guys on the field out there. This is the thing, they gave them the opportunity to go out and do good for others.
Yeah.
There's
platform.
Yeah, there's 10 players in that on that hit. When that during that one particular play is one of the things I was reading earlier. There's 10 guys there with charities that provide millions of dollars.
So
that's amazing.
This specific kid, Damar Hamlin, he had started a charity for children in his hometown of McKees Rocks, Pennsylvania, it was a toy drive. He had the goal set low. He's had it up for 2 years. And I don't even think it was at the goal, if I remember what I read correctly, but the goal was only $2,500. Since this happened, his GoFundMe for that toy drive for those kids is over $7 million.
Thank God.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
And the family, the family's posting about it. They're acknowledging it and being fully transparent and saying, we don't necessarily need $7 million for all of these kids, but we want to support this charity and this charity and
Thank God.
consider, not donating to us anymore, but here, go to this other charity. So
that's amazing.
Now, not only are you bringing recognition to something like high quality CPR and the fact that anybody can learn it and anybody should know it. Now you're bringing recognition to all these charities. And this is a small town in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
This kid was just trying to do something nice for the little kids.
Where he's from.
It's
where he's from.
Yeah, it's a testament to the type of person he is and his family. I read that his friends had died really young to gun violence and his dad had to deal drugs just to make ends meet. And he didn't want that life. He wanted to take his family out of it. And he didn't want kids in his neighborhood to have that. So
that's awesome.
He started his charity and he's raising money to try and, change that.
It's looking up the towns that are close to where he's at. You got Hershey, Pennsylvania, right?
I've been there.
Yeah. The chocolate people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That most the Mr. and Mrs. Hershey, they never had children. They couldn't have children.
Wow.
So every cent that they made with the Hershey goes to a Hershey's. There's a school that's for underprivileged kids, and you go there, and it's private school that provides high level education, high level sports facilities in there.
Oh wow!
And they've turned over I think it was 37 NFL players out of that come out of Hershey, Pennsylvania. Yeah, some crazy thing like that. So it is one of those things that people should take away from is that these guys, they make millions, but they also give away millions.
Jody just posted a comment.
You missed the one from Beth that the AHA has a YouTube channel that anybody can learn CPR on.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jody said last year the NFL and its teams donated $500 million to charities nationwide.
Yeah. They
So
give
it's,
away millions.
yes, they make millions. They make a lot of money, but at least
they're giving
it back too.
They're giving it back.
They're, a lot of them have stories similar to that where they came from nothing and they came from a bad life and they wanted a way out and sports was their way out.
Yeah.
And when they get there and they are making millions, they're bringing other people out of it too. And that is an amazing thing.
I think as our guest here, as we get ready to, Jason's got the timer clock on.
Yeah. I got the charity up too.
Oh, it's at 8 million.
Oh wow!
Wow.
$8,079,120 raised of a $2,500 goal.
You realize that if everybody that saw our post had donated just $1,
right,
where we'd be at,
right,
$1.
It's crazy.
I don't know. I think it'd be awesome to read the post though, because we haven't done that.
Oh, I can. Yeah, we can read it.
Can we read?
Oh
the
yeah,
post?
definitely. It's a great idea.
And before we get the big hand.
What so Lizzie, what types of programs are there over in California where people can do CPR, or is there any programs that they
They're
offer
like
free?
a dime a dozen. There's so many different schools to go and learn CPR. I had to, so through my work, we have our own CPR program. That's not the AHA. It's through the own research that the university does. But I had to get AHA certified for school, and you Google it and there's so many. There's one in National City, which is another city in the county. They're literally everywhere, and everybody should learn it. I wish that there were more instructors, to be honest, because I would love to learn how to be an instructor and then go to schools, like teach families.
You know what the most interesting thing that's happened to us here at the Rescue Company One in the last month or so is that we had a call, and I'm gonna put these people on the spot because they need to know it. And now this is the thing. So we get a call from the one of the student organizers for University of Central Florida Medical School.
Mm-hmm.
So they're the medical school students, the third year students. They're learning how to be learned doctors, and they basically had $200 is what they had to get, like 13 people. The 13 people that are about to go do their rotations, they needed to have CPR and advanced cardiac life support, but they couldn't afford to go do it.
No.
Wow.
Like they couldn't afford to go do it. They called us and they had no funding. And what did we do, birthday buddy?
We went and we taught that class.
We taught that class and paid an instructor.
Yeah.
Gave them legitimate cards.
Yes.
Like
they got AHA cards.
They got American Heart cards.
Yes.
And
was a phenomenal instructor.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Corey, he's got little hands.
Yeah, he pisses me off daily, but we love him.
Yeah, and
very charismatic.
He went and taught the class, got paid to teach the class.
Yeah,
real equipment,
we get rosters,
real everything.
Just kidding.
And then we gave them cards, and we didn't make $1. Like it cost me.
It cost us money.
It cost
to put that class on.
Yeah,
but we had the opportunity that we could do it. We were in a position that we were able to do something like that. And the way I see it is we just invested in the future, and we invested in people that could be your doctor in the ER one day.
Will be your doctor.
It's
prevention is better than. I would rather be preventative and than reactionary.
Absolutely.
Yeah, $2,100, by the way. Like I can, we're not in the position to throw away $2,100 everyone we came around, but in that situation, the girl caught me right, and it was one of those. She caught me at the right time, and then it was just one of those where I was like, man, what the fuck do I just turn them away?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Can't.
But it's good karma.
Yeah, shame on the fact that a $multi-million was that school with the
university.
University.
Second largest student body in the United States, by the way.
Not only that, they do
Virginia
a lot of computer
Tech.
Stuff that makes a shit ton of money.
Okay, so let's just talk about how much med school tuition is.
Yeah.
First and foremost, like why is that not part of their curriculum?
Part of you,
right?
You're freaking school. So people
they had to pay out of pocket if they.
It's such bullshit.
I
can't stand that.
Yeah. So, buddy, read that post to me.
So this was our viral post written by our new friend here, Lizzie.
My long lost sister.
Yes.
There is no forgetting the first person you ever see receive CPR. There is no forgetting the first person you perform CPR on. There is no forgetting the first person you lose despite your best efforts. There is no forgetting the first feeling of bones cracking and becoming mush while violently pumping on someone's chest 100 times a minute. There's no forgetting that feeling when everyone in the room knows that it's time to give up, but you don't want to be the first one to admit it. There's no forgetting the guilt for being the first one to make the call. There's no forgetting the sound the monitors and ventilators make before we click them off when a heart stops beating and the lungs stop breathing. There is no forgetting the first sight of fixed and empty eyes that stare into nothing. There is no forgetting the first time you have to tell a surviving family that despite all your efforts, you were unable to save their loved one. We always remember our firsts. They haunt our waking dreams and seep into our nightmares. But in order to survive and save the next life, we swallow them down and lock them far away in the deepest caverns of our soul. We always remember our firsts, but how many have we forgotten? To the millions of people that watched a young, strong, and athletic young man die, be violently resuscitated for 20 minutes on a field, then to see him be whisked off to an ICU, informed that he died and needed resuscitating again, and though he is alive, he is still in critical condition. You have every right to be traumatized. What happened on Monday was traumatic to every party involved. Damar Hamlin is 24 years old in peak physical condition and yet is in critical condition, and we watched it all happen. Just remember that every day in the field and in hospitals all over the world, this scenario happens multiple times a day, sometimes to the same person. The people that perform these valiant efforts to save a life feel the same trauma, sadness, and disbelief as all those are feeling over Damar Hamlin. Our feelings are exponentiated to the point of numbness, disassociation, and really dark humor. Which are just really mechanisms of survival and coping. If the shock and horror of the events at the Bills-Bengals game have you shook up, please go find your closest healthcare worker and give them a big hug. It will go a long way. We feel this every single day.
Amazing.
True
That's
story.
something give me goosebumps.
I think that is amazingly written, and I just have to tell you that we are so thankful that you let Jody put this on our platform and to share this, because we have gotten so many comments, not just comments on the page. We've gotten messages through Facebook. We've gotten messages on Instagram, through our website, of people just saying thank you.
Yeah.
And how awesome you guys are for everything you do, and everything you teach. That's the big thing around here is, you are doing it. You guys are all still in the field, but you're sharing everything you know.
You had there was a comment from us, a person that had CPR done to him.
Yes.
You remember? Yeah, that one handy there.
Different.
Because this is this one was crazy. Like, you never think about it too, from the person that got the CPR. You know.
Just really quick before you start that one up,
Mm.
what's crazy is that we have the mechanical devices now that can help with CPR, because when we're doing it, we could be doing it for 30 minutes or just depending on where you are, an hour. And there are people that, because they're getting that really good quality, are actually waking up during those compressions.
Yeah.
So they're like, I work at quite a few freestanding emergency departments as well. And in the morning time, oftentimes there's only one or two nurses. So if a code comes in, they stay on those electronic.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and
Absolutely, until whatever happens.
So you get more hands.
you don't get more hands.
Well,
A
you said in the morning, like more people were coming.
Okay,
later.
at 11. So if you show
maybe
up,
it's 10:55. I don't know.
Here's the thing, man. A great life-saving device, and it's great technology, and it's awesome and stuff like that. This is Carlos.
it works.
It works awesome.
Yeah.
Here's Carlos's problem with it. The first few years you have this out, you made enough money to give them away.
Yeah.
Yes.
To places that can't buy them.
Oh,
Give them to rural hospitals where they are
Absolutely.
understaffed.
Yes.
Stryker and Physio Control and other, they don't sponsor the show, so they can go fuck themselves.
Absolutely.
And,
Go give them to those freestanding.
Go give it to them. You have enough money.
Yeah.
You have enough money to
More
do
than
it.
enough money. It's disgusting.
Heather said the Lucas device is truly life-saving. We carry them on our ambulances, and I've had better patient outcomes more times than not.
Yeah, I'm on the helicopter.
Yeah, I mean, well, I would hope so, because I've been in a helicopter. I did a ride along on a life flight. It's amazing. I would love to do that one day when I grow up, but it's such a tight space, and like turbulence happens, and that Lucas isn't going anywhere. Mm-hmm. But I don't think people realize how exhausting doing CPR is, which is why you switch out every 2 minutes. And there was one lady who had to do it on her husband for like 20 minutes before the medics showed up, and she saved his life. Yeah. She's incredible. Like, that is high quality CPR.
So what were you saying, that we have
there's so many comments on here, and it's been a really busy couple of days. So I'm sorry to anybody who's commented that I'm not about to read your comment, but there are two that I found that really, really stuck out to me in the few that I was able to see. The first one is being on the receiving end of CPR. I can say you don't remember who performed it, how many rescuers were involved, what they did, what tests were performed, and 2 days might be a complete blank. But my family and I are grateful to everyone involved for saving my life.
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Oh, it's gonna make me cry.
That's how it is. And some people, I think it's crazy that I didn't even think about that until Danny said it. How
Yeah.
this kid remembers he was playing a football game.
Yeah.
Danny missed the whole 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. Another one, this one got me because it was a kid. My first was an 8-year-old girl who somehow fell under the cover of their in-ground pool in December.
Oh.
Mom found her and started CPR. We took over and transported her 20 minutes to the hospital. Upon returning, we couldn't leave the fire hall. Grown men standing there with tears on their faces. And 2 weeks later, we received a thank you card in her handwriting.
Oh
Yes.
God.
Freaking awesome. And you know, like that
That is awesome.
to the asshole that was pissed off about the post and us
Yeah, he
putting
go
that
fuck
stuff up
himself.
there. You can go
Yeah,
fuck
you can
himself.
go
Him and
fuck
his son,
yourself.
they can go
Yeah.
fuck themselves.
Yeah,
Retired
yeah,
fucking fire chief, suck my dick.
yeah.
Sorry.
That's the problem I have with some motherfuckers. You got to understand this. Like now in our world, Mr. Tough Fireman, which he probably runs a lot more medical calls than fires.
Yeah.
Is that we're able to give people a platform to share stuff that they don't get to share all the damn
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
And if people don't get to share shit, it comes out in a bad form.
We were
Probably
just talking
like
about
yeah,
this.
probably like the two assholes. We gave those two assholes the ability to express their opinion, which is
We
cool.
did.
It's
Yeah.
cool. We didn't like take your opinion away either. It's up there for the world to see that you're an asshole.
Yep.
And it's just I'm sorry you didn't get enough hugs. And I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry
but
nobody
that's
loves you
the
enough.
thing, is that you
but
learn, you get burnt out. And
yeah,
that's
but
the
you
lose
are welcome
compassion.
for me giving you the platform to get your goddamn feelings out.
And you know what? We have this mental health talk all the time.
Yeah,
we
just
talk
do it
about
today.
it every time we're on here. We talk about it in every meeting we have. Any chance we have, we talk
Yep.
about this. And you know what? If we allow for a platform
we'll
for
leave.
people to say how they feel,
Good or bad. You
I don't
put it
really
up.
care if it's good or bad,
Put it
because
up.
just like you just
Yeah.
said, that guy, he's got this tough shell on because
yeah,
he's
but-
old school fireman. Well,
But he
now
got
you
the-
just told us how you feel, though,
yeah.
so you let some of it go.
Absolutely.
I hope you feel better.
Absolutely, man. Baby, what you got before we leave?
If you don't know CPR, please learn it.
Shake your boobies at the TV thing. There. So people can see it. Up there.
You have a great rack.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know.
Great rack.
Thank you. And this is my new tattoo.
Yeah,
It's
I can see
beautiful.
it.
I was looking
Beautiful.
at that.
Thank you,
Very
Manny.
pretty.
It looks
Yeah.
amazing.
We
I
love
it.
Manny.
Hippo, you've
You're
had a
welcome.
long day.
I've had a very long day.
Your hair is out of place.
It is.
Normally it's nice and combed
Yeah.
and stuff.
I'm a mess.
You remind me
Yeah.
of Danny McBride a little bit, Hippo. I
Yeah.
mean that in the best way possible.
Okay,
Oh,
thank you.
man.
Thank you. Hey, if you have somebody that can teach you CPR, or if you are able to teach somebody CPR, please do that, because this is a great example of what CPR can do. And it could be one of your family members, it could be one of your friends that you're saving one day.
It could be your 8-year-old daughter.
Hard and
Yep.
fast on the
Yep.
chest.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, what you got?
I always have so much. I just don't even know what to pick. But
Mhm.
I am beyond thankful for the way that situation played out for this kid. He's only 24 years old. He's got his whole life ahead of him. And now, because there were people there and a bad thing happened to him in the right place at the right time, and those people were there and they saved his life.
Yeah.
And I don't care what any assholes have to say on Facebook. Those people deserve
Yeah.
all the praise and all the glory, because they saved a kid. They saved someone's life. And now, even if, God forbid, he doesn't go back to playing football, he still gets to live.
Yeah.
And he has a life, and he will have a quality of life because he went no time. He had no downtime.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. And CPR is important. It's near and dear to us. We've witnessed it, firsthand, what high quality CPR does. And it saved, this hippo's best friend, saved his life.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I don't know what this world would be like without a Danny Miller in it, but it goes a long way. And that's what we do. We teach it. We teach everybody. We teach all forms of it. And, even if you don't know if it's for you or aren't sure you want to do it, hey,
Sure.
send us a message. We'll help you out.
We'll accommodate
We'll
it.
figure it out.
We'll entertain it.
Yeah.
Special guest, what you got to say?
Just want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to the rescue company. But honor your feelings, honor the trauma, recognize it, speak about it, give people hugs, and have these conversations. Do you want CPR? Do you not want CPR? Like, how do you want this to play out, especially as you're with your elderly and sicker family members?
I do think that that's a topic that we need to bring you back for.
I would love to come back.
Yeah, I think the palliative care and the approach to patients and stuff is super important. And I think that people need to see that ICU standpoint of it when you guys sit there and you code these people over and over and over, so you got a comment up there?
Yeah. Mark Austin says LRN CPR.
Yeah.
Everyone should know CPR.
We did record Mark Austin earlier, which is an awesome story about him doing CPR and getting a Corvette for it.
Yeah.
What? I'm going to know about this offline.
Oh yeah. Until the next time.
Until the next time.
So as definitely there's a lot to be said about the way things have played out to Damar. Welcome back.
Yeah, we wish you the best.
And then hopefully things go the way you wanted to go. And sometimes not to take away my brother with one eye, bald Jason Marquez. God's plan B is better than your plan A.
That's a true story.
You know what I'm saying?
If not me, then who?
Well, I'll tell you, a bunch of people on the football field did it. You know what I mean? They did it. And but it's amazing. But I like that the book of faces and the
grams of Insta.
Yeah, whatever those things are, and the Jodies that exist out there allow information to flow.
Yeah.
Not information about selling a class or anything like that, but if you watch most of our posts, they ain't got nothing to do with that.
That's not what it's about.
This show ain't got nothing to do with that shit.
Nope.
And it's basically giving people the ability to express themselves and gain a little knowledge while they're doing it.
Yeah.
Out there. And so to those that we offend, well, go fuck yourself. I'll offend you again.
Hashtag blessed.
But to the people that were out there playing the game, doing the job. If you do what you love, you don't work a day in your single life. And I've been a fortunate man that in a few days I will be 42 years old. I have never had to, suck one for money. It's never happened, but I've enjoyed the work I've ever done. I've danced naked for people. I've, sold different types of shit, and I have, been able to help a lot of people and teach people to help those people, and those people have helped others. And I feel that I've touched the world in an appropriate way, non-child molester style. So till the next time. Go fuck yourself. Bye.